back to my channel. I are having a wonderful day. In today's video, we are going to be doing my August 2022 TBR wrap. This video is where I tell all the books that I got on my August TBR list. If you have not seen that video, I will link it down in my description box or somewhere up in the card. I showed 9 books, but I'll show you them in the order that I read first, and then I'm gonna rank them from best to worst. To be honest, none of the books that I read were the worst, but if I had them in ranking order from best read to least favorite read, that's how I will rank. So the first book that I read was The Elite by Kiera Cass. This is the second book in the selection series. The second book I read was my book of the month. If you don't know what book of the month is, it is a subscription book service where you can get hardcover book for $16.95 a month. They have a bunch of different challenges. You can add on certain price based on if you are a reward carrier, or as they like to call it, a BFF. It will take you a year to become a BFF. I've only been with Book of the Month since July of 2022, but none of the books I've read from Book of the Month have disappointed yet. And the last book I read is this third book collection series. There are 6 book collection series total, but this is book number 3. And I'll show you my current read right now. The book that I am right now is this. It is Regretting You by Colin. It is a duo point of view, so you have a mother and a daughter point of view. We won't be discussing this book today, but I wanted to show you what my current is right now. And I am 47 pages in. But now let's rank the books I read in August. This would be my highly recommend. This would be my favorite book of my August reading month. This book will make you cry, will make you think about the justice system, the Me Too movement, and right and wrong, and how family plays a part in right and wrong decisions, and the things that happen. You are grown and your parents are still trying to get you out of trouble. I did a full review on all of the books that I'm going to show you or talk about, except for Regretting, because I haven't finished reading the book. But this book is a total 5-star. But there are a lot of trigger warning and sexual content books. So if you are going to read this book, first I'll say check out the trigger warning to see if this is something you can handle, because this will have you feeling all type of ways. Read it, but just because you think you know how this book is going to end and who really did what and why, please don't stop reading the book. Read it to the end, even if you think you figured out the end. But also pay close attention to who's talking and who they're talking about, because there are a lot of twists and turns. I will not be spoiling those for you, but this is a 5-star read and my favorite of the month. So if you want to know what the back of the book says, I will read it to you, but I will have to blur out some words. So if I'm only using letters, it's for content purpose only. So the back of the book says, which is on the inside because it's a hardcover, it says Cassie Quinn may be only 20. She knows a few things. 1, money can't buy happiness, but it certainly doesn't hurt. 2, when it comes to family comes first. And 3, her younger brother Billy is not an R. When Billy, a junior at Princeton, is arrested for assaulting his on and off girlfriend, Cassie races home to Manhattan to join force with her parents and older brother. While certain of his innocence, the Quinns know that Billy fits the all too familiar S.O. white, athletic, and criminal that makes headlines and sways jury. So as the clock ticks, the law closes in on the family, scrambles to hire the best defense money can buy. Meanwhile, Cassie struggles to understand why Billy's act would go so far, even if the breakup pains. She knows better than anyone how the end of a first love can destroy someone. Her own years-long affair with a powerful, charismatic man and left her shadow, and she only recently regained her footing. As reporters coverage outside their Up East Side landmark building, the Quinn grid themselves for the media satire trial. Cassie vows she'll do whatever it takes to exonerate her brother, but what if it's exposing her own dark secret? Dazzling and psychologically astute, and it rockets towards an explosive ending. When we were bright and beautiful, asked, who will pay the price when the truth reveals? Yes, so this is a 5-star read. It's going to make you feel like, really? Why? And if you want to know how I feel about it, quick answer is I was upset about it. I liked the book, but I was upset about how it turned out. It's not how I expected, but I was upset about it, but then I had to rethink about it. I'm still upset about the ending. And if you read the book and you want to know why I'm upset about the ending, we can talk about it. Just send me a message and we can talk about the ending, because I don't want to spoil it for you here. But if you read it and you want to know why I'm upset about the ending, just send me a message, or send me a message. So my next favorite is The One. Now this book is a 4-star. It's the 3rd book in the selection, and this is where we crown a winner. So if you've been keeping up the selection conversation we have been having on my channel, this book crowns a winner. I do not tell you, but the back of the book says, the time has come for one winner to be crowned. When she was chosen to complete the selection, America never dreamed she'd find herself anywhere close to the crown or to Prince Maxim's heart. But as the end of the competition approached and threats outside the palace wall grow more vigorous, America realized just how much she stands to lose and how hard she'll have to fight for what she wants. Now, America, there's only 3 girls left, so it's between America, Ali, and Cecily. No, I got it wrong. It's between America, Chris, and Cecily. And this book has a lot of action in it, especially with people attacking the palace, and then a lot of people die. America's father died. I can tell you that because I told you that in my review, and I also tell you since I went deeper in that review, I've been doing book chats about this, that Cecily dies, and I feel as though she had the most growth as in character development, because if you've been following along, you know Cecily was not my favorite character. I wanted her to be gone and exit the selection a long time ago. But when she died, I felt some type of way because she grew the most and became friends with everybody that was a part of the selection, but she lost her life. And then I felt bad because America's father died from a heart attack. I have a little spot about daddies and death because my dad died when I was young, so I feel some type of way about that. And then Maxim lost both of his parents, so I felt bad as well because he lost parents and now he has to run a whole country. Now that his father is gone, he became king a lot quicker than he expected, but him and America do end up together. I did tell you that in my review. I just remembered that, so I can tell you that here. Him and America do end up together, but it's not as fairy tale as you think. So read this, because if you think it was all gumdrops, roses, and bubblegum and rainbows, it was not. It was basically a bloody showdown to get to America and Maxim's happily ever after. And is it really happily ever after? Yes, because they're together. But look how they had to lose to get there. But there is a sweet, sweet letter that America's dad her here when her dad died. Maxim off go with her. He wrote her letter. There are a lot. And then there's even an epilogue book that tells you what happened after the selection, like how their wedding was, to hear about that. But the letters here were my favorite. Not only America's letter to her dad, or her dad's letter to her as well, but Max's letter to her. Like, she went away for 4 days and he wrote her 4 letters. Yeah, so there's a lot in here that is like emotional. If you like romance, like you're just sappy, feel love for everyone, hopeless romantics and all of that, this is the one for you. I gave this book 4 stars. It still wasn't the best book I've read because When We Were Bright by Jillian Medoff took that for me, but this is still a 4-star. And if you really get into it, I say you can read this book in about if you're really into reading, you can this in about a week. There are a lot of her other books in here. There's a sneak peek of The Air and her newest The Throw. And our last here, I gave this a 4-star, but it was my favorite of October only because this is the Elite, the second book in the selection series. The only reason that this is my favorite is because I just felt like everybody was angry. And if you're trying to run a country, everybody listen to everybody. I know the king has final say, but the king in book 2, he was just bad. I don't like how his life 3, but in book 2 it was like, why if you set up this selection process for your son to find his happily ever after, and he wanted to do it his way, let him. You're supposed to guide him, not tell him who to choose, but guide him into choosing the right person for him. And then the way he treated his son, with whether it was mentally or physically, was not right. And then what they did to Marley was a part of the selection. I do tell you this in my but what they did to Marley, they caned her. And if you want to know what that is, that's like their version of beating somebody with a cane. And the reason why they did this, because they caught Marley with the guard, and as you know, in Ilium, you are not supposed to have relations before you are married. And because Marley was a part of the selection, she is supposed to be for the prince. Now, if the prince didn't choose her, that's something different. But at the time of this happening, she was still living in the palace, still fighting for her spot. But she fell in love with the guard, and she ended up telling Max that she didn't want to pay him and all of that in the end. But she got caught before she can even have that conversation, because he always promised all the girls. But Maxim always promised the girl, as long as you're honest and tell me that you don't want to be here, I won't keep you against your will. And he really kept that promise. He did save Marley, and he couldn't save her from the canning, but he did save her from becoming an 8. And if that you don't know what an 8 is, they have a caste system, and it's the lowest of their caste. So if compared to, basically they would be hung. So he did save her, but he couldn't save her from the cane, but he did save her. And so this is a star. If you like a lot of action, this is the one for you. And the 1-2 is the one for you. These are very action-packed. If you like psychological thriller, this is the book. So it's all your reading preference. You can't go wrong with any of the books in this TBR wrap. It's just what you like to read. And for When We Were Bright and Beautiful, I can't stress this enough. Please read the trigger warning before you read the book. Read it and let me know down in the comments what you guys have left just in the past, and they are on my list to read. Soon you will see my September TBR. I'm just waiting for a few things to come in before I share my TBR. Remember, I'm always thinking of you, sending my love, and bye for now.